Hi, everybody. This is Jen, your host down here between the cracks. And I am coming to you. Hi, Kim. I am coming to you with a special story because this is something emergent that has come up, uh, that something that I can help with, and I intend to do so. Today, we're going to be covering the story of Elijah Goldman, who was a teenage boy from Traverse City, Michigan, uh, who was, pardon my voice, adopted at 11 from Haiti by these people and was sent away to Atlantis Leadership Academy in Jamaica. It is affiliated with the WASPs programs, or was, I should say. The program was shut down. And Elijah's adoptive parents refused to pick him up. So he had a court hearing on Wednesday. He is fighting the parents' order to have Elijah sent to another troubled teen facility in the state of Utah. You know, the state where everything runs wild as far as the TTI is concerned. And he's fighting it, and I'm so proud of him. But this young man is not. He's kind of alone. I mean, he's got the advocacy group. He's got 1111 Impact, which is Paris Hilton's charitable arm to her foundation, working with him. He has a lawyer, but he doesn't have supporters. I live in Detroit, which is about 200 miles southeast of Traverse City, and I will be driving up there either Tuesday night or very early Wednesday morning. I'm also hoping to get a group of people that are in driving distance to Traverse City, Michigan, to please come Wednesday morning, be there at the courthouse around 7:45 a.m. because I will be making signs for us to hold for Elijah as he walks into the courtroom, showing him that he is supported and that we believe him and we see him and we love him and we will advocate for him. I am then going to be attending the court hearing, obviously silently, to sit on Elijah's side of the room because he needs support. He deserves support. Hi, Mandy. And so I want to read and show this article to you so you have an idea of what we are looking at. The other thing of importance is this is a wealthy family. They have money. So we're hoping that with all the people that Elijah has behind him, he will win this case against these adopted people. I don't want to call them parents because that's not what a parent does. If I was his adopted mother, he would be getting home from something. You know, he wouldn't be begging for his life and not to be tortured again. So, oh, thank you, Mandy. You know what? I actually should do the same for you if you give me just one moment, because I'm pretty sure I lost all of my other moms. So I thought if you went on your YouTube channel and you clicked on somebody, you could make them a mod. I don't understand. Whatever. Okay, I can't figure it out. So I'm not going to do it right now. We are going to go ahead and look at, I'll figure that out later. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to read this article and look at this article. I'm going to full screen so that I can read it. So if I don't respond to your comments, just understand that that's why. So, adopted, abused, abandoned. How Michigan boy's parents ditched him in Jamaica. And this is from Teresa Baldus from the Detroit Free Press. She just put this out 2 days ago. Okay. 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I want to put a, hi, Crystal. I want to put a trigger warning on here because this is some difficult things to hear and see. Well, I'm just reading it. But after months of languishing in an abusive boarding school in Jamaica, where boys say they were beaten, waterboarded, starved, and whipped, Michigan teenager Elijah Goldman. After months of languishing in an abusive boarding school in Jamaica, where boys said they were beaten, waterboarded, starved, and whipped, Michigan teenager Elijah Goldman begged to come home. But his adoptive parents in Traverse City never came for him. Not even after Jamaican authorities removed him from the American-run school, placed him in a foster home in Jamaica, shut down the school following allegations of abuse and neglect, and arrested and charged 4 school officials with child abuse. Rather, Elijah's mom and dad, a wealthy and conservative Christian couple who adopted him from Haiti when he was 11, left him in Jamaica for another 7 months while his American friends were brought home. Could you imagine an extra 7 months in a what you would consider a foster home in Jamaica? First of all, he's from Haiti. He's not from Jamaica. Totally different places. He was adopted by this wealthy couple in Traverse City, Michigan. And they then sent him away to Jamaica. And when that place was closed down, not only did they not come pick him up, even with all the proof of the program being shut down, of the staff being charged, they don't believe him. They don't believe his stories of abuse. To me, I'm not adopted, but the not believing part hits me so hard, right in the heart. So I'm going to do everything that I can for Elijah. And I ask everyone I know to spread this story, talk about it, share it. If you know anyone in Michigan or Wisconsin that could come to Traverse City Wednesday morning, that'd be fantastic. I already do have a small group coming. I'd like some numbers, like at least in the double digits, but all right, carrying on. They abandoned me. It hurts. I appreciate them for bringing me to the U.S., but they abandoned me, Elijah, now 17, wrote to the Free Press one recent night. While still waiting to be rescued from Jamaica, I'm staying strong, but it hurts. In a harrowing child welfare case that has sparked international interest, including that of celebrity icon and advocate for troubled teens Paris Hilton, who has intervened in Elijah's case, children's rights advocates are seeking to draw attention to a pervasive problem and dark side of adoption, abandonment of the vulnerable. Now, I want to point out a little more deeply how involved Paris Hilton is with this case. Paris has been watching over Elijah. She has made sure that he got out of Jamaica, and when he couldn't stay in Miami, she took care of getting him to Traverse City. And he is in a safe place now. But we have this hearing coming up on Wednesday, and I personally don't know what to expect because I've just been kind of cued into this today. So I'm just focusing on the story today and won't be giving any details. I'm not There are things that I'm not at liberty to speak about and wouldn't if I were. But I will say that I am going to fight till I have no voice and my legs are weak for Elijah's freedom. Okay. It's where, okay, so we're going to talk, so it goes into abandonment of the vulnerable. It's where parents adopt troubled children, but then change their mind in a buyer's remorse kind of way because the kids come with too many issues. So they send them away, never to see them again. You know, like when parents buy their kids chicks, but then they grow up the chickens and they're like, oh, we don't want a chicken. You know, or they get them a little baby, teeny tiny teacup pig and it grows up to be a pig. They don't want that. Well, that's how they're treating human children, right? It's, oh, no, we shouldn't have got that for the kids. That was a terrible idea. So we're just going to dump them. That's not how adoption works, people. In case, you didn't realize that. Okay, so that's what child welfare advocates say they believe happened to Elijah, whose adoptive parents sent him to an American-run boarding school in Treasure Beach, Jamaica, in September 2023 over behavior problems, including watching pornography, and allegedly ditched him in the process. I get that they're Christian conservatives, but come on. That's just an excuse. They never visited him nor attended any of his court hearings where Elijah and other boys disclosed allegations of horrific abuse they endured at the school called the Atlantis Leadership Academy. Elijah said he was cut with a razor and beaten in the back with a hammer. Other boys reported being waterboarded with a hose up the nose, tied to railings by the neck and beaten, and being forced to engage in club fights where staff and local police would place bets. Like dogs. We treat dogs better in this country than we treat children. Adopted immigrant children of color. The allegations prompted Jamaican officials to remove Elijah and 6 other American boys from the academy in February and place them in Jamaican custody. 1 month later, they closed the school down. That's March. The school was closed down. Still, Elijah's adoptive parents never came. Never came. Elijah said the last time he heard from his adoptive parents was in April, when they called during a court proceeding. When asked what his adoptive parents told him, he said, they didn't want me home, and they didn't believe me about the whole court thing, that they were abusing us. The Free Press made numerous attempts to speak to Elijah's parents. Multiple voicemails and text messages were left for both parents. The mom responded by text stating, if you would please send us your questions in writing, we can consider responding. Isn't that kind of her? The Free Press sent a list of questions on Wednesday morning and left more voicemails and text messages. As of last Friday evening, the couple had not responded. Michigan officials reportedly told a lawyer and advocate for Elijah that the adopted parents told them that they had a plan to get Elijah out of Jamaica, but were advised not to travel there. Who said they had to travel there? Anyway, okay. And I like this bold line. A biological parent would not get away with this. And that's a fact. So that's, if it's even deeper. Elijah's case has drawn the ire of child welfare advocates who maintain biological parents would not get away with abandoning the minor child in a foreign country for a year, especially when the child is reporting abuse. They were specifically told, your son was abused, and they didn't even send him clothes, said New York children's rights attorney Dawn Post, who traveled to Jamaica in the spring, met with Elijah, and has been fighting for him ever since. Dawn is his attorney, and I think she's a hero. What makes it so astounding is that these wealthy parents think they can get away with it, Post said of Elijah's adoptive parents, who live in a $1.7 million lakefront home in Traverse City that was named the Southern Living Home of the Year in 2007. Traverse City is a lakeside home on Lake Michigan, not on Lake Pond in the middle of the state. Lake Michigan. one of the Great Lakes. Oh, so yeah, they have money. That makes me a little nervous, but I really kind of wish that this hearing could be held in front of Justice Aquilina downstate in Lansing, but it's out of jurisdiction, which is really too bad. Post said she believes Elijah's mom and dad are getting preferential treatment from Michigan authorities because they are adoptive parents, not biological. If it was a biological parent, believe me, you'd have an abandonment case against them, said Post, noting she had reached out to multiple government agencies in Michigan about Elijah's case, including the governor's office, Department of Health and Human Services, and Child Protective Services in Traverse City. But so far, she said, no one has stepped in to help Elijah resume his life in Michigan or to hold his adoptive parents accountable for stranding him in Jamaica. I need to make a note because Debbie Stabenow, one of our congresspeople in Michigan, signed on to the SICA bill, the Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act bill, and I'm going to reach out to her in every possible way I can today to see if there's any way that she can intervene as a member of Congress. Elijah returns to U.S., fate uncertain. Elijah is back on U.S. soil, though his future remains uncertain. He was returned to the U.S. on Tuesday after Jamaican authorities put him on a plane and sent him to Florida, where American officials would take over and address his needs. But since landing in Florida, his life has been a nonstop series of traumatic events with no government agency stepping up to take care of him or take him in. Florida, I can say, that doesn't surprise me at all. Doesn't surprise me at all. Florida said he was Michigan's responsibility. Michigan said he was Florida's responsibility. His adoptive parents did not meet him in the Miami airport. I'm going to say that one more time. His adopted parents did not meet him at the airport in Miami. Rather, Post was there. So was an abuse survivor and youth advocate named Chelsea Maldonado, who works as a consultant to Paris Hilton's charity known as 1111 Media Impact, which works to protect vulnerable youth from mistreatment, particularly those in residential facilities. He's been abandoned and let down by every person who was in a position to offer him care, love, and support, Maldonado said of Elijah, stressing the troubled teen industry preys on adopted youth. No child should be adopted into this country only to be abandoned or sent to a place like Atlantis Leadership Academy. This must end. Elijah arrived at the airport in jeans and a pullover fleece, carrying all of his belongings in a single backpack. A fellow survivor from the now shuttered boarding school was there to greet Elijah, who smiled as he hugged his friend in the arrivals terminal. But the nervous teen kept looking over his shoulder, and in a matter of minutes, a daunting scene played out. A U.S. Embassy official from Jamaica, a police officer, and a youth transport agent whom Elijah did not want to leave with, showed up. They whisked him away from his friend and advocate and took him into a room to discuss matters privately. In the end, Elijah was spared having to leave with the transport agent, the goon. That's what a transport agent is, a goon. These are the people that kidnap children legally and force them into troubled teen industry programs. Okay. In the end, Elijah was spared having to leave with the transport agent, the man his adoptive parents had designated as his legal guardian, the same man that they hired to take Elijah to the airport when they sent him to Jamaica against his wishes in 2023. The same man who wrote a letter of recommendation on behalf of the academy where Elijah and others were reportedly abused. Elijah said this transport agent had manipulated him into going to Jamaica and that he didn't trust him with his future. And I don't blame him. Neither did his lawyer or his youth advocate, who both made sure to be at the airport to protect Elijah and place him in safe hands. From Jamaica to Florida to Michigan, Elijah finally sees his adoptive parents. Elijah arrived in Miami just before 6 p.m. Tuesday. By 8 p.m., he was in a car with the two advocates who showed up to help him, away from his adoptive parents' chosen legal guardian, eager to begin a new life. "I'm the happiest man alive," he wrote in a message to the Free Press on Tuesday night. Within 24 hours, however, he would learn that Michigan authorities said they had no legal authority over him, that housing him in Michigan was out of their hands, and that this lawyer needed to talk with Child Protective Services in Florida and find a place for him there. "This is beyond insane," Post said. By midnight Wednesday, more than 24 hours after landing in Miami, Elijah was in Florida CPS custody, housed in a children's home. "Everything is good," Elijah wrote to the Free Press. By morning, however, his life was upended again. So we're keeping track. That's Thursday. Thursday morning, his life was upended again. Florida CPS placed him on a flight to Traverse City. Elijah said he didn't know who would meet him there. Neither did his lawyer. Just before 2 p.m. Thursday, his flight landed in Traverse City. "My adopted dad is here," Elijah wrote in a message to the Free Press. "They said I have to go with him. He's acting like everything is normal." Elijah and his dad met with CPS in Traverse City. He said CPS told him he had to go with his dad to Detroit, get on a plane, and go to Utah, where he would join the transport agent who had taken him to Jamaica and get an apartment in Utah to live. Why does he need to get an apartment in Utah? Why can't he say where he wants to live? That's absurd. It's outrageous. Elijah refused because he's a warrior. As of 6 p.m. Thursday, he was sitting in the rain in the CPS parking lot, waiting for his lawyer to arrive from Florida and pick him up. His mom showed up at one point. She went up to him and clutched him sobbing, saying she just wanted to see him. Elijah, clearly with total understanding, said he felt confused. I feel confused too. It's probably an act. Or maybe the father, who knows? I don't know. I'm not a fan of these people. "I don't think they love me anymore," he wrote to the Free Press after leaving the parking lot in his lawyer's car. "We do have some good memories." See, this kid is not broken. He's traumatized. He's been abused. He's not broken because he actually gave them that they had good memories. They don't even think they deserve that. And he gave that to them because that's how compassionate Elijah is. Camping was one of them. Friday came with more uncertainty. Lawyers filed a neglect petition with a court in Traverse City, along with a motion requesting Elijah be placed in protective custody. As of Friday evening, there was no resolution. Elijah went back to a hotel pending a Wednesday hearing date. Parents respond, "I'm not always proud of how I father my children." Elijah's adoptive parents are Mark and Spring Goldman of Traverse City, Michigan. They have denied multiple... Hang on a second. I just want to make this clear to anybody watching now or anybody who may watch this. Leave those people alone. What they have done and are doing is reprehensible. Be better. Do better. Leave them alone. Please. I'm asking. Leave them alone. They have denied multiple requests to speak to the Free Press. According to public records, LinkedIn pages, child advocates familiar with the couple, and a prior essay written by the dad, here is a glimpse into the Goldman's lives. The couple have 2 children of their own and adopted 2 other children from Haiti, including Elijah and Elijah's younger sister, who is 12 and still lives with the Goldmans. The family lives in a sprawling white colonial that is listed at $1.7 million on Zillow and $1.9 million on Realtor.com. Mark Goldman, 54, Maybe it is me. Spent years working for his family's real estate and restaurant business before leaving that career to work in special education. What? Wow. Okay. His wife, Spring Goldman, 51, described herself on her LinkedIn page as a working mom and self-employed health and wellness consultant. Two people that should be amazing, loving, and compassionate adopted parents. No, given their backgrounds, given what they do for a living, what they're trained in. As a mom of four and an owner of multiple businesses, I have become incredibly passionate about empowering others to see their potential and create a life of abundance, her LinkedIn page reads. By serving and loving others and helping them to succeed, I am changing lives one person at a time. Apparently, she started with Elijah. And if that's the way that she changes lives, she needs a new career. In a personal essay about his faith journey, Mark Goldman also discussed changing lives, specifically his own. On a faith-inspired business website called Check Your Game, Mark Goldman wrote about a prior rage issue and how a verbal fight with his wife almost triggered a call to the police and eventually led him to Jesus Christ. Thank the Lord. The following morning, I decided I was done thinking I could fix all my issues with booze, gambling, working out, and pornography. I needed to try something else, Mark Goldman says in the essay, which credits his mom with turning him to Jesus Christ following a 2008 fight with his wife. The personal essay also mentions Mark Goldman waiting to be matched with our two kiddos from Haiti and how he left a multi-million-dollar company to work in a school setting and how he and his wife brought our two kids home from Haiti with us in 2018. Let me be clear, the essay reads, my life is not perfect, nor is my marriage. I am also not always proud of how I father my children either. But one thing I do have is a God who loves me and has a place for me waiting in heaven. Can I get an amen? Actually, Mark, no, you can't get an amen because Jesus, God, whatever anyone calls an omnipresent being greater than ourselves, this is the exact opposite of what they want. I don't see anything about anger management classes, therapy, family therapy, marriage counseling. Not that it's our business, but did he do those things? Was that checked out before he was allowed to take home two children from Haiti? Who knows? So, how Elijah became a Goldman. Initially, my family was loving. He was 11, if you remember. Elijah arrived in the United States on March 1st, 2017. The Goldmans adopted him and his little sister through a program called Chances for Children, which sought to, among other things, address Haiti's orphan epidemic and identify abandoned orphans or vulnerable children who are victims of severe poverty and neglect. For those of you that have been living under a rock, Haiti has been hit with several natural disasters over decades, and it is a very, very impoverished island nation that doesn't get near as much help as it deserves. Soon after Elijah and his sister joined the Goldman family, his adoptive mom started posting photos of her new and bigger family on Facebook. One shows an 11-year-old Elijah standing in front of a white picket fence with his smiling new sister and brother, adoptive mom and his biological little sister on the end. Another picture shows the whole family together. Mom, dad, two girls, two boys in khakis, all smiling in front of a lake. Most recently, on December 23rd, 3 months after Elijah was sent to Jamaica, Spring Goldman updated her Facebook profile picture to show a smiling Goldman family sitting in the sand. The kids were older. Elijah on the end, smiling next to his little sister. Friends commented, "Beautiful family. The kids are all grown up. Merry Christmas. Initially, my family was loving and helped me learn English and learn how to read, Elijah wrote in his new American life in a personal statement provided to the U.S. Embassy officials, law enforcement, and the free press. Then I became a teenager. There's those magic words. Teenage years came with problems and porn. As a teenager, Elijah engaged in misbehavior of sorts. I started looking at porn magazines on my Amazon Kindle, Elijah writes. My mom got a notification about it and asked me about it, and I lied to her multiple times because I was embarrassed. My dad was understanding, but I still lied to him because I was embarrassed. The misbehavior continued. In 8th grade, Elijah was caught buying his own cell phone and watching more porn. In 9th grade, Elijah bought another phone that his parents found and took away, only that time they found more daunting images. They found videos of me having sex and pictures of my girlfriend sent to me, Elijah wrote. For that, they say I was a porn addict and an sex addict and that I needed to go to a program. He's a teenager, crying out loud. An argument followed with his mom, who summoned his dad to the bedroom. Dad comes in, threw my things everywhere. He broke my snow globe, Elijah writes, adding, we get in a fight and he beats me. So I guess those rage issues didn't go away, did they, Mark? Elijah ran away to a friend's house. 2 weeks later, in October 2022, he was sent far away to a special school for troubled boys. Over the next 2 years, Elijah would go to 3 different boarding schools over his behavior, enrolling first in the Teen Challenge Adventure Ranch in Arizona, a very well-known TTI program. It's a Christian-based center for boys with addiction and behavioral issues, neither of which he had. He was there for 9 months, from October 2022 to July 2023. From there, he was sent to the Master Ranch Christian Academy, a boarding school in Missouri for troubled boys, where he only stayed for about a month, from July 2023 to August 2023. He said he ran away from there because I was scared for my life. In September 2023, within a month after fleeing the Missouri school, he was sent to the Atlantis Leadership Academy in Jamaica, where his life was upended and his sense of security forever scarred. Paris Hilton fights for Elijah. There's an extremely troubling situation in Jamaica. On April 3rd, Hilton traveled to Treasure Beach, Jamaica, after learning 7 American boys had been pulled from a faith-based troubled teen school on the island over alleged abuse. NBC News had reported the allegations in March, and the plight of the students weighed heavily on Hilton, whose own kidnapping and boarding school trauma turned her into a crusader for abused and neglected youths. She is a crusader. She's a warrior. She is a survivor. I dropped everything to travel here, Hilton said in an April 3rd news conference in Jamaica, her voice trembling as she spoke of the abuse the boys in Jamaica had reported. One said he was stripped naked and violently beaten. Others said they had salt poured on their wounds. One child said he was forced to kneel on bottle caps for hours, scarred so badly that he could no longer grow hair on his legs. Another said he was placed in isolation and whipped with a cord. There is nothing these children could have done to deserve this torture, Hilton said at a news conference, where she directed her anger at parents who sent their children to this American-run school. Rightfully, Jamaican authorities are questioning why anyone would be willing to sign over guardianship of their child to a complete stranger in a foreign country without ever visiting or maintaining contact, Hilton said. To these parents, how could you ever discard your child like that? Several of these boys were adopted and were promised better and more stable lives. Hilton took a special interest in Elijah. He was the last of the boys left stranded in Jamaica. Michigan officials alerted, no action taken. On May 20th, Hilton sent an email to a top official with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, advocating for Elijah's return to the U.S. I am reaching out regarding an extremely troubling situation in Jamaica impacting a Michigan youth who was an international adoptee, Hilton wrote, noting the boy Elijah was stuck in Jamaica while his counterparts were sent home. It is unconscionable that the adoptive parents would abandon their son in such a manner, Hilton wrote of Elijah's parents. Elijah deserves to return to the U.S. to a safe and appropriate placement. I am hopeful that your department will support us in helping return this young boy to the U.S. and placed in a safe placement as clearly his parents do not have his best interests in mind. They essentially warehoused him in Jamaica, and since abuse allegations have come to light, have abandoned him there. Excuse me. Hilton's email was sent to Demetrius Starling, the Senior Deputy Director for Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Children's Services Administration, which oversees CPS, the state's foster care system, adoption services, and juvenile justice programs. Starling did not respond, of course. Post also reached out to him on April 22nd, but said he didn't respond to her either. Rather, on May 30th, more than a month later, another Michigan DHHS official wrote Post back, stating that Michigan law protects children by ensuring information regarding child protective matters is confidential, so we are unable to share any details with you, even though she is his attorney, because children have no rights. That's not just a Michigan thing, by the way. Prior to Elijah's return to the U.S., the Free Press reached out to the governor's task force on child abuse and neglect regarding Elijah's welfare, his efforts to return home, and his claims that he was physically abused by his dad before he was sent to Jamaica. The agency offered no insight, stating, due to confidentiality outlined in the child protection law, governor's task force members are unable to review any information related to a case involving child welfare activity. Due to this, our process is to send your concerns to the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services to determine if there was a case assigned, and if so, for them to review and address. MDHHS officials offered a similar response, stating that Michigan and federal law prohibits the agency from sharing specifics about CPS cases. The Free Press also reached out to the U.S. Embassy in Kingston, Jamaica, which would only say that Jamaican authorities took action to shut down the Atlantis Leadership Academy on March 28, 2024, to ensure the safety of 8 U.S. teenage boys at the Atlantis Leadership Academy in St. Elizabeth amidst allegations of abuse. Citing privacy concerns, Michael LaValle, the U.S. Embassy Kingston spokesperson, said he could not discuss specifics regarding Elijah's case, but stated Embassy Kingston takes the safety and welfare of minor U.S. children abroad very seriously and provides all appropriate consular services as needed. We also support relevant parties and authorities in repatriating U.S. citizen minors to the United States when necessary and appropriate. Sounds like the Jamaican government cares more about American kids than the U.S. government does. As a country, we're failing these kids. In her efforts to bring Elijah home, Post said she encountered numerous stumbling blocks, including government officials suggesting that she secure a refugee agreement to bring the boy in that way. What does he need a refugee agreement for if he is an adopted American citizen? I mean, I'm not sure if he's an American citizen, but an adopted by American citizen child who you would think after being in country technically for 6 years, he would at least have a green card. There's details that I don't know. We don't know. That's okay. Okay. Are you kidding me? He's an American citizen. Why are we talking about bringing him in as a refugee? Post said she recalled thinking to herself. But then again, Post said this is what can happen to immigrant children with issues who are adopted by Americans but wind up getting abandoned because they're seen as too problematic. It's unfathomable to me how, as a country, we're failing these kids. Post said, still furious that Elijah's adoptive parents allegedly didn't believe him about the abuse he endured, even though the place was closed down and it was proven by Jamaican officials. I don't know what they needed, maybe video, which I'm sure they have, not the parents, but the authorities in Jamaica. They really were tortured, Post said of the teen boys she interviewed in Jamaica. They had fight clubs. Cops would come and bet on the kids. They had water hoses up their noses, lots of horrific things. Perhaps more egregious, Post said, is that no one in Michigan appears to care. I care. I'm in Michigan. She then cited an email Elijah's advocacy team received on September 3rd from the Department of Health and Human Services in Grand Traverse County, where the boy lived with his adopted family for years. Grand Traverse County does not currently have any legal jurisdiction regarding Mr. Goldman. After reviewing this case, the best next course of action would be to contact the CPS office in the county you are in and advise them of the current status. Barb LaRue, Director of Department of Health and Human Services Office in Grand Traverse, Kalkaska, and Leelanau counties, wrote in a Wednesday email. All right, I see you, Barb. The Free Press contacted LaRue on Wednesday and asked why Michigan wasn't helping bring home a boy who lived in Traverse City for years and why an abandonment case had not been opened up. LaRue said she would forward the questions up the chain of command. Thursday morning, Elijah was on a flight home to Michigan. Post alleges CPS authorities gave a pass to Elijah's adoptive parents. While investigating Elijah's case, she said, she learned that the couple told authorities that they had a plan to get Elijah out of Jamaica, but were advised against going there. Again, they didn't need to go there. It's proven that nobody needed to be with him to get on a flight to America. They completely bought into the BS of the parents saying, "Oh, we don't know what to do. We're afraid to go get him," Post said, maintaining she fought for months for someone to help Elijah, but to no avail. "I tried to get some action. It took months for anyone to respond," Post said, and then someone from Traverse City finally did respond. They said, "Oh no, the parents are doing everything they can. They have not abandoned him." Post says their actions prove otherwise, and I agree. Moving forward, from hopeful to anxious, Elijah said he is relieved to finally be back in the United States, though he is anxious about what's to come next. He said he didn't feel good when he was told he had to leave with his adoptive dad from the Traverse City airport. When he left Jamaica, he said he was hoping to be placed in a group home in Michigan. He just wants to go to school again, to run track again, lead a normal life again, get a job and prepare for the future. Previously, he said if he could talk to his adoption for me. They did things to me emotionally and physically. I messed up in some parts too. Elijah also sees a future ahead, one where he works and has a family of his own. I have resources to become a successful man and take care of my family in Haiti, he says, and one day make my own. I am hopeful. Wait a minute. I am hopeful. Well, you know what, Elijah? I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. And I truly believe that you are going to live an amazing life. You will have a family of your own. You will take care of your family in Haiti. You will make a difference in this world because you are believed, you are seen, you are loved, and you are worthy. And I know that you're going to see this, and it makes me really happy. I will see you Wednesday morning. You'll know me by the really loud sound of my voice. And now I'm going to be checking some comments just because these are my friends in here who do support my advocacy. And I just want to make sure, here, look at this. If you look up resources for adoptions, you will find tons of money available for adoptive parents, little to no resources for the adoptee. Right. And Meg, who is the CEO of Unsilenced, is also adopted and was also sent to multiple troubled teen industry programs, except all of the ones she was sent to were in the States. Here we go. There you go. We are hopeful for you, Elijah. And by the way, those ones that comes from a community that I am a part of, have been a part of, and one is a sign of loving support, that you're seen, that you're heard, and that you're supported. Where is Elijah now? He is in a safe place in Traverse City, Michigan, awaiting his hearing on Wednesday morning. Yeah, I mean, of course, that is a question, right? I mean, I can see why it's crossed my mind as well. Hopefully they're treating her well. I'm very sad for Elijah and his sister, because I don't know if she's been allowed to see him or not. But I just wanted to get all of this out, because any little thing that Elijah can see and know that he is supported and that he is believed and that he is worthy and that he has value, the better. And I can say this as somebody who has needed to know that I am good, that I am believed, that I am worthy, and all the other stuff I forgot, because I'm emotional. But so that's all I really wanted to say today. Just wanted to bring Elijah's story to everyone's attention. Please share this. You know that I don't normally. There's some more ones for you, buddy. I don't usually do this, but I'm asking everybody who watches this video to share it everywhere, please. I don't care anymore if my family finds out that I have a YouTube channel. They'll just have to deal with it. This is my purpose, and right now Elijah is my focus. So please share this. I have to get off now because I need to send several emails, several tweets to several people within the state of Michigan and in the federal government. Well, what does Misha say? You are and will do great things, Elijah. And Jen, you got this. We love you. Well, I love you all too. And I thank every single one of you who showed up to be here with me this afternoon. It means the world. I love all of you and the support that you've shown me and the way that you've all learned about this industry and helped me spread the word. I can never repay you, but I can make you proud. And that's what I'm going to do. Elijah, Dawn, Rebecca, Chelsea, Paris, everybody, Meg, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. And I'll see Dawn and Elijah on Wednesday. And to all you, you know what I say. Be kind to somebody today. Do something nice for somebody today. All of us. Do it every day. I bet you we can change the world. I know how I'm going to. How are you going to do it? Much love to all. Have a great evening. Bye.